Okay, so I'm here to set up, I'm going to show you how to set up the Ghost Drone 2 with your Gbox and your cell phone and get it all ready to fly. Now this is on Android, not on iOS. It's pretty much the same thing on iOS, but we're going to go over the Android instructions. So first things first, you're going to take your Gbox, and on the side here, you'll see that there's a little toggle. It says iOS and Android. This is a switch, but it's smooth. You can't get to it unless you use a paper clip or a toothpick or something. So get in there with like a toothpick and just slide this over to Android. Then you're going to want to go ahead and actually turn it on. Quick tap right there. These buttons right here are your power level indicator in 25% increments. They turn off after a moment. There you go, to save battery. This light just shows that yes, battery is on, and then you've got two data lights right here, and the one on the right indicates that it's on the Android setting. The one on the left indicates that it's on the iOS setting. So the one on the right right there is on data for Android. Now it's blinking because it's probably already just automatically attached, but for yours, when you first start, it's going to be flashing. I mean, it's solid because it's attached. It's going to be flashing. Now what you're going to want to do is go over to your Ehang Play app. First thing, if you've never set this up before, you're just going to go on, click on the gear. You're going to scroll through this on your very first configuration setting and pick the Ghost Drone that you have. I've got the Ghost Drone 2 aerial. It's already selected, so that's good. If you have something else, scroll to it, click on it, click save. Then you're going to back out of this, and then we're going to click on the plus sign on that outline of the drone. And then your Gbox will show up right here. Click on that, and it says Gbox connection is successful. So easy enough. Now we need to actually bind it all to the drone right here. So one more step, click on the gear. You're going to go over here, and we're going to go to binding. Okay, now we're going to actually click on binding, and now it's not doing anything. Now here's where you need to go to your Ghost Drone, and it's a double tap and then hold. You got to watch the Ehang come along. It scrolls across and it turns on. This green light will indicate that the drone is actually on. So now that's on, and you will immediately see it will say binding successful, and then you click on confirm. And look, now there's an actual drone where that outline was. So now this thing is pretty much ready to fly. The next thing that you're going to want to do before you can fly it is click on the gear icon right here. And then we're going to go down here to calibration. Okay, so you're going to calibrate your device, wave it around in a figure 8. It will then say that you're that it's calibrated. Then I'm going to skip that. Now it's asking you to calibrate the drone. And you'll see it's on vertical, like flat like this, and it's going to ask you to actually rotate it. And you'll see as I rotate it, I'm rotating in the background here, the little green dots kind of follow along. Now pay attention, because you don't need to fill up all of the green dots. You just need to make pretty much almost a circle. Sometimes it will switch before you've even gone 360. And you'll see, we'll get there, that it will now have arrows pointing down, telling us that we're ready to calibrate it on its other axis. And let's see if that happens here. We're downstairs in a basement. There it goes. So now what that means is you're going to want to take the drone, face it forward, and then face it square down like this. And then you're going to do the same thing. And that's it. It's done. And you don't need to twist it by hand. You can actually just walk in a circle with it, and you are ready to fly. And then you're going to click either avatar mode. Now avatar mode operates in this portrait orientation right here. Now it's looking for satellites, so it's probably not going to work down here in the basement, but once it finds and locks all the satellites, you'll have a button that you can click to take off, and then a slider to confirm it. It will take off, and then you just control it by leaning forward to go forward, back to go back, left and right like yo. Works pretty well. These sliders right here will actually rotate the camera gimbal up and down, camera gimbal left and right, and there will be another slider that allows you to actually rotate the drone. So that's the avatar mode. We'll click back out of that, and then we'll click on the waypoints mode. The waypoints mode is cool in that a map will come up. Right now, no map, no satellites. It's not going to connect. And then you'll see an overlay, basically Google Earth, and you'll have one icon, a blue dot, that's you, and another icon, which is a blue arrow, that's this guy. And the arrow is whichever way it's facing in space. So you can just look at that and tell it's facing away from you, it's facing towards you. And then we've got gimbal sliders up and down, and the drone left or right. And actually just flash to the map really quick there. And then this will actually spin the drone in the air. And then when you're going to take off, slider to confirm, and then you can go from point to point. You just click on a point you want to go, click go, it takes off there. And then if you hit pause, flight, it will hover, and then a little joystick virtual comes up and you can fly it wherever you want. And again, there will be a little red arrow on your joystick that's indicating which way this thing is facing in space. So if it's facing, you know, this way, the arrow is going to be at the top. If it's facing you, it'll be pointing towards you. But it doesn't matter. If you come back, it comes back towards you. It doesn't matter which way this thing's facing. It's always in headless mode. So it's very easy to fly. And then when you hit hover, you can get this thing up, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet up, 50, 60 feet away from you, wherever you want it in space. You're going to click pause and hover, and then there's a follow me button. You click follow me, and it will follow you at that height and at that distance. It works pretty well, but I did notice that it tends to overshoot you. So if you're walking along, the drone will catch up and it won't stop 30 feet away from you. It will kind of catch up and then hover above you a little bit. So just be aware of that and be aware of your surroundings. This doesn't have collision avoidance. So that's how you use it. Practice it. I love the avatar mode. It works great. And then finally, we can go into some adjustments for some faster flight. So click on Preferences, and then here you can select if you want meters per second, kilometers an hour, miles per hour, and then all-in-one, headless, all off. Now these are your pilot lamps, which are the lights. So the headlights are actually the red. Those go in the front. Gimbal pitch control would be the slider, or if you've got their goggles, which I have, they're cool, you can select goggles, and then the up or down motion of this gimbal is controlled either by the slider or the goggles. You're going to want to select 3D gimbal for this, and then here we've got your takeoff height, which is defaulted at 10 meters. You can go all the way up to 30 meters. Return height, 10 meters to 50 meters. And then speed of flight. So it goes all the way as slow as 10 kilometers an hour and all the way up to 40 kilometers per hour. And you'll see you get a prompt. Switching to high-speed mode, please ensure flight safety, because it trucks at 40 kilometers an hour. And I actually keep it kind of in the middle for cruising around the neighborhood. Yes. So I'll keep it down, you know, around 20, 23, somewhere right in there, which I find is, and I'm still learning, you know, I've only got about an hour and a half of flight time on this. So you save those settings and set parameters completed. And then you can go back, select how you want to fly it. And that is how you set this thing up, and it's how you actually fly it. It works really well. I've got it out to about 1,500 feet away from me or so, and I've noticed the connection can be a little squirrely. One time I had to select a waypoint closer and click go, and then do it again. I think I had to do it 3 times before it actually came back to me. I was using a monitor, an FPV monitor, to actually view the camera, and I could visually see the drone, and I could see via the monitor that it was staying very stable. It wasn't drifting off, but I did have to click that twice. So far, that's the only glitch that I've actually noticed. So yeah, just be safe with it. That's how you fly it, and I do have some footage of this in the air, so I guess we can maybe show a little bit of footage of it flying around the neighborhood on a snowy day. Yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask in the comments below. Thanks.